Okay, we are ready to tackle question number 5, which is, what skills and abilities do I have? You'll notice right away that this worksheet looks very similar to the worksheet you just used for question number 4. What activities do I enjoy? And why is that? Because a lot of the activities you enjoy are the activities that you're good at. They allow you to use skills that you have. So in this sheet, we're after the abilities that come more naturally to you. You might say God-given talents, natural abilities, skills that you don't have to try very hard in. You can just kind of do it. My son is very good at drawing, and he's never taken like real drawing classes. He always knew how to draw. He just can look at a picture and replicate it by just freehanding it. And his classmates look at him like, how can you do that? I can't do that. So in his class, he's known as the artist. What is it for you? What comes naturally to you that other people notice and that you actually can't take credit for? You're like, I don't know why I just get math, right? That's not me. I would never say that. But, to use myself as an example, something I've always kind of been good at is editing. I never excelled in my math classes, but I never really struggled with my writing classes. Just kind of came to me. And so if you see this question in the top right-hand corner, it asks, how would your parents or guardians and friends answer this question? So if you were to go up to your mom, dad, guardian, auntie, uncle, grandma, whoever, and ask them, what do you think I'm good at? What are my skills? What are my talents? What are my gifts? What are my abilities? You're going to get some very interesting answers. And then your friends, what would your friends say? What do they come to you for help with? And here's a challenge if you're up for it. You don't necessarily have to ask a friend face to face. Those of you who are on social media, you can use your Instagram, you can use Discord, ask the question in a post. Hey guys, I'm just wondering, if you were to come to me for help, what kind of help would you come to me for? That's one way you could ask the question. Or you could say, hey guys, random question. What is one thing that you think I'm good at? You can say, I'm happy to answer the same question for you if you're interested. See what kind of responses you get. If you don't get any responses, don't worry about it. But you might get a whole bunch of answers, especially if you're offering to do the same for your friend. And that's super helpful, right? Because these outside perspectives, a lot of times they can see things in you that you can't even see in yourself. Okay, so you may find the previous worksheet for question number 4 to be helpful as you answer the questions for number 5, because they are very similar. But the difference is that in question number 4, I told you that you don't have to be good at the activities that you enjoy, right? I gave you that freedom and permission to dream a little bit and to write down some answers of activities that you enjoy but maybe aren't good at yet. Now, in question number 5, I'm trying to get at what are you already good at, your current strengths, and to toot your horn a little bit. Okay, so now is not the time to be humble. I'm asking you to be proud about the skills that you can do, right? The abilities that you have, the talents that you were given by God, and write them down. So I'm just going to take you through these questions pretty quick, knowing that you can pause this video and take as much time as you want to answer them in depth. And remember, when it comes to these worksheets, you guys, you're going to get out of this what you put in, okay? So if you want deeper insights into who you really are, then you need to take a little bit more time on these worksheets. Because if you're just rushing through it to get it done and out of the way so you can go do something else today, you're not going to get to that zone of genius in a deep way. Okay, because remember, the reason we're answering question 4 and question 5 and the next question, which is 6, is to zero in on this little sweet spot called the zone of genius. And that is where you are in your zone. This is where you are firing on all cylinders. Okay, this is the spot where if you can spend as much time as possible here, and if you can find a way to monetize the activities in this sweet spot, you could make a living out of doing things that you're good at, things that you enjoy, things you're good at, and things that people actually need. Okay? Things they actually want from you. Okay, so that's why we are taking the time to answer these questions to get at your zone of genius. Okay, so if you go to this portion of the sheet, I'm just going to go through these questions, and please pause the video and answer them for as long as you want to get as deep as you want. Okay? So what have been your favorite classes and academic subjects thus far? This is the same question that was on the previous sheet for question number 4. And that question's the same, but the next question is different, okay? Now, given your favorite classes and subjects, what skills and abilities do you use in those classes and subjects? Okay, so let's say your favorite class is math. What skills do you use in math? Why is it one of your favorite classes? Maybe you enjoy logical thinking, right? Math is very black and white. Math is objective. Maybe you enjoy the objectivity in math as opposed to writing, right? Where you can take a side and make an argument, right? In 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 pages of persuasive writing. Maybe your favorite subject is writing. Then you ask yourself, okay, why is my favorite subject writing? What skills am I employing when I write that I'm good at? Maybe you enjoy writing because you're good at research. Maybe you love to dig and get deep into a specific subject or a specific question. Maybe you enjoy debate. Maybe you enjoy the art of persuasion. Maybe you enjoy logical fallacies and you get to use that argumentative art in writing. Or maybe debate is your favorite subject for the same reasons, the same skills you get to employ. I love research. I love seeing both sides of the same question. I love the perspective that I gain when I study both sides of an argument. Maybe I enjoy public speaking. Maybe I'm good at public speaking. And that's why I love debate as my favorite subject. Now, myself, one of my favorite subjects was an extracurricular subject. So think about all your extracurriculars, right? Photography, video editing, drama, theater, choir, band. I was on the yearbook staff. I was the yearbook editor my senior year of high school, and I loved it. And it was that class that exposed me to the world of publishing and publication. And when I was doing this activity for myself, I asked, what skills in yearbook was I using that really made me love yearbook? And it was a class. It was telling stories behind the pictures, and it was celebrating the people in the pictures. Because isn't that what a yearbook does? A yearbook is just a whole book of all the people that comprised your school year, right? Not just students, but faculty, teachers, administration. The yearbook contained the vision, the mission of the school, the different events, the sports teams, the school parties, the field trips. And I loved that all of it was in a little book that you could take with you, that you could refer to for the rest of your life. I just think that's such an awesome and beautiful idea. So that's an example of a reason that I really enjoyed yearbook. And the skills that I was using was celebrating people. Okay, you may not think that that is a skill, but it is. It is. Another example is photography. If photography is one of your favorite subjects in school, what skill are you using in photography that makes it so enjoyable for you? Maybe you love capturing a moment of beauty. Maybe you enjoy photographing nature, landscapes. Maybe you enjoy the celebratory nature of photography, that you capture a moment of happiness, or you capture a moment that was important, a significant moment in life. Maybe you see photography as the art of preservation. It's memories, right, that you're capturing on camera. And because you caught it on camera, and I would say the same thing in personal writing, like journaling, that moment, it now lives on. Long after that moment has ended, because you caught it on camera or you wrote it in a journal, that moment lives on. It continues to be alive to you. So on the right, if you need some ideas for skills and abilities and talents that you may possess that you may not be obvious to you, here are some ideas, okay? I'm going to hit this list and then I'll come back to this side of the sheet. So some skills, abilities, and talents that you might possess. Maybe you've never thought of these before, but now you get the opportunity to think about them. Maybe you're good with numbers. Okay, so maybe it's not just math. Maybe you just enjoy calculation. You enjoy data. You enjoy statistics. You enjoy facts that have to do with numbers. Okay, maybe you're good with numbers. Maybe you're good with words. You're good with words. You can say the same thing in 10 different ways. You can explain something to different groups of people. You can explain a concept to a child, and you can explain the same concept to an adult. Maybe you have that ability. Okay, not everybody does. Maybe you have the skill of creative thinking. Okay, maybe you are a creative thinker. You can write stories. You can write plays. You can write songs. You can write poems. You can solve problems creatively. Okay, you can think outside of the box. Okay, that is all creative thinking. Maybe your skills have to do with your athletic ability. I mean, you're just a person who's really good on the field, on the court. You can get the ball in the goal, in the basket, right? Where other people may struggle. Maybe you find it kind of easy for you. And, that's great. That's why you're on the varsity team, right? Maybe you are good at making things happen. Okay, so you're a initiator. You're a self-starter. If you sense that this needs to be a thing, it needs to get real, and it needs somebody to push it into the world, you want to be the person to make it happen. Okay, so you turn a thought into reality. That's a skill. Maybe you have the skill of sensing needs of people. Okay, so maybe you have a high emotional quotient, EQ, okay, not IQ, intelligence quotient, but EQ. You can read people's feelings. Maybe you can sense the needs in a situation. Okay, maybe you have that perspective of a whole situation and you kind of know what needs to happen. Okay, so people who are EMTs, people who are in law enforcement, police officers, firefighters, they have this ability. They know what is needed in this particular situation, okay? Especially if there's real danger involved, right? Maybe you have just the ability to sense what's happening and what I need to do. Maybe you have mechanical skills. You like to fix things. You like to take things apart and see how things work and put them back together. That's mechanical. Artistic. You have artistic skills. You know how to make something ordinary look extraordinary. You know how to turn a dull moment in life into a special moment by photographing it or putting it on video, doing some editing and making it come alive. Maybe you can dress up some clothing. Maybe you're good at accessorizing. Maybe you're good at, matching the colors. So artistic is very broad. You can bring that into different fields, right? So you can add artistry to fashion. You can add artistry to writing. You can add artistry to videos. You can add artistry to cooking. Isn't that what the Michelin chefs do? They use the same ingredients a lot of the times that are available to you and me at the supermarket, but because of their artistic skill, they can transform those very same ingredients into a whole nother level of culinary delight, right? And that's why we pay them the big bucks to eat at their restaurants. Okay, maybe you work well with people. Maybe you love working with people. You're good with building relationships. One of my students, I'm thinking in particular, she can talk to anybody about anything at any time. She just has that knack to connect with people. Memorizing information. Some of you have amazing memory, and that's going to be helpful in every field, right? You're really blessed if you have a good memory. But maybe you've never really acknowledged that as a skill before, but I'm telling you, it is. Not everybody is good at memorizing names, dates, faces. First of all, you're going to be very gifted in working with people if you can remember their name, if you can remember what they're into, if you can personalize and customize conversations to revolve around things that matter to this person, that's going to get you super far in life and in career. Maybe you are good at decision making. Yeah, maybe you don't struggle as much as other people to make decisions, even big decisions. Some people just need the information, and once they get the information they need, they're able to make a decision. They don't need a lot of time to think about it, right? You all know people, and you might be one of them, who just needs a lot of time to make a decision. And it's a gift if you can make a decision, not just quickly, but wisely. All right. Maybe you are good at making wise decisions because you know how to consider all the factors in that decision, the pros and the cons, the costs and the benefits. Okay. Moving down this list, maybe you're good at building things. Okay. That's self-explanatory. You decide what kinds of things you like to build, but, there might be an engineer in you. Maybe you're good at accepting others. This is another people skill. You're good at just connecting with people because you accept who they are. You're not as judgy as other people are. You don't, generalize. You're able to look past the surface. Maybe you're able to look past the exterior. You're good at giving them the benefit of the doubt. You're good at getting into a conversation with them so that you actually get to know them. Maybe you're good at making people feel comfortable. Another amazing people skill. Maybe you're good at predicting what will happen. Okay, this is interesting because you may not know that it's a skill, but a lot of executives have this skill. They can predict what will happen, so they know what they need to plan for now and prepare for now before it happens. Okay, this is a leadership skill, to be able to predict what will happen. And nobody's God. Nobody knows exactly what will happen, how it will happen, when it will happen. But, there are just some people who have that big picture perspective. They can see the forest, not just the individual trees. Okay, I'm kind of like that. I am not good with every little detail. I am better at seeing the big picture, the grand scheme of things. And I actually love preparing and planning for that future. And that's why you guys are in this course, right? This whole course is to get you to look at the forest. Where is your life going? Where would you like to take it, as much as is within your control? And can I help you to trust God for the details of your future? Okay. The next one is speaking. Again, debate, public speaking, speech. If you love speech, you love talking, that's a skill. Writing, we've talked about. Dancing. Maybe you are into the performing arts. Maybe you love Broadway. Maybe you love the arts, theater, because it not only brings you joy, but it is the way you express life and everything that you enjoy about life or experience about life. Maybe it's the emotion in life that comes through dance. Okay, I wish I was there when God was passing out performing arts skills, but apparently I was either absent or asleep because I cannot perform worth anything. Maybe you are good at coordinating a program. Okay, that is a leadership skill, to be able to coordinate an event, right? A lot of school ASBs, student councils, this is what they do. They coordinate prom, they coordinate homecoming, they coordinate the Sadie Hawkins dance, they coordinate Spirit Week, they coordinate lots of different programs for the school. Maybe you just love that. Maybe you love coordinating programs and events. Okay, that is a skill. Maybe you're a good listener. If you are a good listener, you are gifted. That is by far better than being good at talking. Okay, being a listener is the other side of being a good speaker, because you need to be able to do both. A listener means you have the capacity for empathy. You have the capacity for compassion, sympathy, understanding, and therefore connection with people. Okay, listening is a very important skill that actually can be learned. Okay, but maybe you're already good at it. Okay, how about singing? Again, it's a performing art, and maybe that is how you come alive. You're good at it, you enjoy it, and that is how you want God to use you. Humor. Wow, humor is so important, isn't it? Don't we love to laugh? I mean, what would life be without humor? If you can make another person laugh, you can change their day from a dull and drab, bad, no good day into a good day. That is a superpower. Okay, if you can change somebody's day from a bad day to a good day because you got a good laugh out of them, congratulations. God's going to use that very powerfully. Okay, sharing. Okay, if you have the gift of vulnerability, if you're not afraid to share what you're actually thinking, feeling, experiencing, that again will help you connect with people, because when you share, that gives them permission to share. And that is a very powerful leadership skill. And you are going to go very far if you can share and not be afraid of what they think, or oversharing. Some people fear that, so they don't share anything at all. But then nobody gets to know them at all, right? So if you're good at sharing, chances are you have some pretty deep friendships, relationships, and that's amazing. That's a gift. Okay, music. That one's obvious, right? Maybe you love to play music, or you love to create music. We just had an event at church where a guy has a side hustle as a DJ, and he loves music, even though he doesn't play an instrument, but he can fill the room with music and put everybody in a good mood, get everybody to do the conga, get everybody to get up out of their seats and, come to the center. He can start a party with his love for music and his skills behind the soundboard. And it was amazing. Okay, so just to finish up this sheet, which I think you now understand where we're going with this and what we're getting at, you just want to think about the skills that you use to employ in your extracurricular activities, okay? And in your independent activities, your group activities. I'm just giving you prompts to think about every area of your life and what skills you're using that you may not have noticed ever before, okay? We tend to take our skills and abilities for granted, but this is the time to not take them for granted, to see them as God-given gifts that He wants to use to execute your mission in your life, okay? So think about your weekends, your vacations, how you use your free time. What skills are you using during those times? And it could be something you do have a class in, like photography. Maybe on the weekends, on vacations, you're always behind your camera. Maybe when you have free time, like I do, I write in my journal. And that's, one thing that people always came to me for is, can you proofread my paper? Can you edit my essay before I turn it in? And I was even paid for that in college. That was my job in college. I worked for the writing center as a writing tutor. And that's how I knew that I had this skill of editing and writing. And, now's your chance to ask yourself, what would people pay you for? What is a skill they don't have, that they need, that they value, that they come to you for? Okay, so pause this video, take a moment, think about it, fill in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up here, and then you have some space to get into specifics, right? So specifics just means take that skill one level deeper and describe it. Okay, so I'll close up with an example of going back to my yearbook class, okay, which was my favorite class in high school. I loved that class because it helped me to memorialize one school year in history, in the history of that school and in the history of my life. Yearbook was investing a little bit of time every week into memorializing this class or all the experiences of that school year into a book that would now go into the annals of history. And I think that was a grand vision that I got to participate in. Okay. So specifics could be anything that makes that skill or that ability meaningful to you. All right. I hope that was helpful. If you need extra support, get in touch with me, Brenda@WeLeadThis.com, and I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Okay. So go ahead and take as much time as you need. You'll get out of this activity what you put in. And when we come back, we will hit the last Venn diagram, last circle in this Venn diagram, what people I care about want and need. Okay. All right. I'll see you in the next video.